Hey guys, it's me, Christian, and my mom.
Courtney, hi. Today we're going to talk about Obsession. We both watched it tonight, and we're going to discuss what worked, what didn't, and some of the things behind the story. So, first of all, what's your overall rating of the movie?
So, my rating of the movie, I believe I would give it a good 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Now, see, not a lot of movies get a 10 out of 10 out of me.
What would be your one word reaction?
My one word reaction of the movie as a whole, very psychological. You got to put a lot of thought into it. It's really nerve wracking.
One word.
I no, the word was psychological.
Okay,
I'm
great.
just explaining why I said
Okay,
psychological.
well,
But what do you think?
okay.
Your
I
one
would give
word.
it like a 9 out of 10. I'm pretty hesitant to give any movie a 10 out of 10. So, I'm just going to say, for argument's sake, a 9 out of 10. And my one word would be tense.
Tense.
It was pretty tense.
It was really tense throughout the movie. There were no dry parts. It was always interesting. Had you at the edge of your seat every time. Why wouldn't you give it a 10 out of 10?
I just feel like I don't want to. I don't know. I just 10 feels. I mean, a perfect score feels. I don't know.
Do you believe 10 has a perfect score?
I don't know. I was thinking about that earlier, and I don't. I don't know. Is that unfair to think 10 should be a perfect score?
I feel like 10 isn't a perfect score because, I mean, we can think, okay, it's a 10 out of 10 in terms of what? You can see a comedy movie, is that 10 out of 10 in terms of plot, or is it 10 out of 10 in terms of making you laugh? Because all that matters is
I mean, I
the
guess you're
purpose.
right.
All that matters is the
I
purpose
guess
of
if
the.
anything, I would say a 10. Like for example, I gave Sinners a 10 out of 10, not because it's perfect, but it's pretty good. Also, it's fairly rewatchable. Now, this movie, I don't know that I'd necessarily rewatch it first. Are you okay? Are you okay? Oh no. Okay. You got
As we were saying,
Okay,
we're just
so
gonna edit
first
that
we're
part.
gonna get into a review slash reaction with more of a spoiler free summary, and then towards the end we're gonna go into spoilers, and we'll let you know when that point is. So without spoilers, to be clear, um, what was the scariest thing about the movie to you, and do you actually think it's scary or more disturbing?
I feel like the scariest part was that it's real.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like something like this concept could be real. Something like this could happen.
Right.
Not like the demon aspect of it, like the One Wish Willow, but more of like I don't know. Maybe a social thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a I don't know. I feel like I can't really put it into words, but I feel like it's like the real life aspect of it. Like this isn't like a cartoon. This isn't. There aren't dragons flying around. Like this is real life.
Yeah, I mean, I think was the scariest part for me is that without giving spoilers, some of the kind of actions the characters took in the movie, again, even taking out the supernatural aspect of it, was things that I could see to some extent at least happening in real life without wishes and things. And it was a bit scary when you think of it that way because, I mean, the fact that people could make those kind of choices in real life and do those kind of things in real life is I think what made it the scariest for me, and just feeling that tension of, oh wow, okay, this is a lot. Like at times it literally felt like overwhelming, and I have a pretty high tolerance for things like gore or um, just generally scary things, I guess. But
Right.
yeah, it just made me feel a little uncomfortable at times, to be quite honest.
No, it's an uncomfortable movie,
But it definitely kept my attention the
and I
whole
feel like
time.
maybe that was the purpose. The purpose was this
Right.
this this thing is not supposed to be romanticized. It's supposed to be seen as disturbing.
Was the movie what you expected it would be going in?
Uh, absolutely.
Okay.
I would see reviews of the movie before I went to go see it, and like spoiler free review. Well, most of them spoiler free, and they'd be talking about how this is the best movie of 2026, best horror psychological thriller of all time of the decade. Like this movie is highly anticipated, so I walked into it thinking, oh, okay, this is gonna be good. And on top of that, when before I went into the movie, I didn't really have a good image of how this movie would play out. And I think after watching the full movie, I feel like it all puzzle. It was like a puzzle, and it was all pieced together while I was watching.
I
And
totally agree. I agree.
it was I don't know. It was just a it was a great watch.
I
It
agree.
was a great watch.
It definitely was. Definitely had some moments that just kind of had you gasping or just looking around like, did y'all see that? You know, that like that type of energy. So it was a great movie. And specifically, I think it was a great movie to see in theaters. So if you're debating whether to go see it in theaters or not, I say definitely
Right?
go
No,
see it in
definitely go see it
theaters.
in
But I
theaters.
think it made it more, even just the music, everything, I think it made it more, emotion
Especially
driven
like
in that
the
space.
sound of the theater. It really played a huge part in the
Yeah, the
immersivity.
music I think was a big part of pulling
Um,
attention.
I think I don't. I mean, like I was sitting in my seat and I didn't like. It's kind of like my spirit just left my. It was like something inside of me was watching that movie, and it's like I wasn't even there. It's like a spirit was there just watching the movie. It's I don't know. I was very immersed. It felt like I was there. It was crazy.
All right, so now we're gonna get into more of a spoiler section of the video. So definitely, if you have not watched it yet, definitely go check it out, and feel free to come back to the section after you've seen the movie, or just go ahead and listen to us yap about it.
Oh my
But
god.
just know there will be spoilers. Okay, so I guess first question of the day. Oh, actually, let me just say this, and then I'll ask the question because literally within the first 5 minutes of the movie, I made a note in my phone essentially that said, who is actually the obsessed person here? Because I say it's beer. Because I feel like the titled movie being obsession, I'm sorry, and the nature of the movie that I think we're supposed to take it as Nikki is the obsessed one in this story because of the spell, but I genuinely think Bear is obsessed with him from the get go because literally from almost the first moments of the film, it's just Nikki, 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 Nikki. And so and so
Yeah.
clearly, like, I mean, just like, dude, calm down, calm down. Like,
Right.
he's just doing a lot.
I feel like he was so obsessed that he took it upon himself to make someone as obsessed as he was, but I feel like he didn't understand how far it would go. I
Well,
feel like maybe I personally feel like he under it's kind of I can't really correlate that to this.
well,
I was gonna well
well.
no I'm not gonna
Let,
correlate
well, let me
to
let me ask the first question because maybe this will help get your thoughts out. Do you think Bear loved Nikki or was he obsessed with her? And what's the difference? How do we know?
I think he genuinely did love her, but he didn't know in a way didn't know how to attack it. He didn't know how to express that in a way that he could. And I feel like that's why he took in a way the easy way out and essentially just put a spell over her.
What's
And
really the
I
difference?
feel like it just went wrong. What's the difference between what?
Love and obsession. What is the difference?
Well, love is mutual. So I think that's the difference.
So then he couldn't have loved her then because he didn't love her back. She didn't love him
Bears
back.
love. Well, yeah, that too. But if I'm talking literally in the movie where she was like obsessed with him, not literally Nikki, but that persona of Nikki, I feel like she was obsessed with him way more than he was obsessed with her, which then would not be classified as love because love is mutual. Therefore, you love someone the same amount that you love that person,
So then wouldn't you say
or
then
you love that person the same amount that they
really
love you.
throughout the whole movie then he didn't love her because in the beginning he had all these feelings for her. She at least presumably did not have those feelings for him. And then after she was had the spell put on her, she was very obsessed and therefore she had more emotion than he did. So I mean at no point were they like equally yoked in their emotion.
Right.
And I'd argue too that he didn't really seem to really even know her really to the extent that I would think you should to claim to be so in love with someone or
Right. And I mean, this is spoiler heavy. Like people, this is the
yes, this is
spoiler.
spoiler section.
I want to bring up a specific point in the movie. Um, if you remember that part, he got up to go talk to Sarah in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and Nikki was asleep,
Mm-hmm.
and the real Nikki was talking to Bear. And he clear I don't know what maybe was going through his mind,
Well, and
but
she
he had
said specifically, she said that's the part where she said, "Kill me, please kill me."
yes,
Uh huh.
and like she's asleep. It's the real me and stuff like that. I feel like that was a dickhead move of him not to do something and to just walk away.
Well,
When I knew, I have a feeling he knew that that was the real Nikki.
well, definitely he knew it was the real Nikki, and more importantly, the what part really got me, I literally was in there like, wow, is at that moment when she said, "It's me," she's sleeping right now. Please, just kill me, please, please, please. He, instead of doing anything helpful, asked her, the real Nikki, do what did she say? Oh, he said, "Oh, is it really so bad to be with me?" Like still making it
Right.
about him,
That was kind of crazy.
like literally this lady's telling you she's suffering and stuck inside this person who at this point is insane, an insane version of her, and instead of giving a damn about that, you're too worried about, oh well, she doesn't really like me. No, she doesn't like you, duh, this is why you did the whole spell to begin with. Like, to me, that was like so selfish. Like, there's just no way he could not be the villain of the story because at any point in time you could have done something different, more upstanding, and you just didn't. But with that same theme, Christian, would you say, I mean, have you ever seen any other movies or TV show where unhealthy behavior is treated as romantic? Like, do you think this is like a theme at
Mm,
all in the media you've seen? Because I know you
only a
watch different
movie?
things. Huh?
Only a movie, or can we talk
Well,
TV
movie, TV
shows?
shows, like
Because
I'm
I mean,
thinking
we
more
could
so
really.
books, honestly, because I think like for me, doing a lot of reading and being in a lot of reading spaces, I've noticed definitely, especially in the last few years, I would say dark romance specifically is becoming increasingly wildly popular. And I mean, that's literally all unhealthy behaviors: stalking, breaking into people's houses, tying them up, putting guns on them and everything. But then it's treated as like it's
Now,
sexy, or he
now
just loves me
see,
so much he can't
now
help himself.
see another piece of media that could be an example, which isn't part of this generation, but I think we should be doing an episode or a video on it soon. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right, because think about when Xander did that love spell, and when Cordelia found out that he at least tried to do it on her, she was like flattered, like, oh, like you were trying to make me love you, and like I get it why you that we were supposed to take it as that, but
That's
that's
not
not cool. That's actually
no,
terrible. It's
not
awful. Um, yeah. So,
right.
what about top? What do you think this movie's telling us about rejection?
I think it's saying that it's just simply a way of life, and it's not something that you can just skip over. I mean, as a society, we should know and acknowledge that no means no.
Right.
She clearly didn't say yes,
Right.
and he took it upon himself to go and do something without her consent, and something that would change her autonomy without her knowing, without her consent, of course. And I feel like that really because we're gonna get into that other discussion, who's really the villain. I feel like that only. I mean, he's done a lot throughout the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but that one specific thing, which first of all started this whole thing, I feel like that was the
Making the
worst of
wish.
it. Yes,
Okay.
I feel like that was the worst because there's a difference between having an intention and having an acknowledgement of what you do and how it could just affect someone so greatly. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, think about it. He went and made a wish because he was selfish and he thought, oh, okay, well, this is going to make her love me. And now we go back to that part where Nikki's asleep and it's really Nikki. She wants to escape this crazy person that she's
Right.
living with. I don't know how that whole thing works. And he's once again selfish again and doesn't help her.
Right.
So I mean, we're
Now,
gonna have
does
to
it does
dive
it
deep into that.
matter to you at all whether? Because I mean, some could argue that, oh well, he made the wish, but he didn't know that it actually would do anything. Does that matter to you? And if it does,
Mm,
then
mm,
what
mm.
should he have done at the moment
It
where he
doesn't matter
realized it
because
was?
I could hand some, say someone's allergic to peanut butter or something,
Hmm.
and you don't know. They say that they're allergic to peanut butter, but they've never been diagnosed with it. So how do you really know? You don't. So you hand them a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and then they die.
Hmm.
I mean, you have that acknowledgement, and you have that intention to give them the peanut butter jelly sandwich, and you have the acknowledgement that they've claimed that they have a peanut allergy, and what you're doing could possibly endanger them. He
Hmm.
knew that the one wish willow was used to give someone a wish, anything that they wanted to do. Now he didn't 100% know that it was real or it was gonna work, but the he still bought it for a reason.
So you're saying, if nothing else, he was negligent,
Yes,
for sure.
I'd say.
I definitely agree he was negligent. I am willing to believe that he genuinely probably bought it thinking it was more of a novelty thing, thinking it wasn't really going to do anything. Um, and I certainly don't think that really most of any of what happened was his true intention or what he maybe meant when he said, "Oh, I want her to love me more than anyone in the world." I think in his heart when he said it, and this is me giving him all the grace because actually I think he can go to hell based off the movie, but I think how he meant it is how he felt about her. He wanted her to feel the same about him. So I don't think in any way that he thought, if by some measure this came true, that what he got is what he wanted. You know.
Right.
Um.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I guess I feel like I know the answer, but just for shits and giggles, if you had the chance to make someone magically like you, should you do it? Would you do it? And should you do it?
Morally, no. Because if you think about it from a moral standpoint, like I said, bodily autonomy, consent,
Right.
like all of it go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
If you two are not consenting partners and you're essentially just doing something against their will, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
doing a wish and them not having any control on what they do, then morally, no, it's not right. I don't think you should ever do it.
I would agree. I mean, while I understand the temptation, probably,
See, that's the thing. I
um,
understand how he could. I understand the the curiosity,
yeah, the thought,
maybe the thought, the
right,
I understand the intention. His intent was for Nikki to love him. I don't feel his intention was her to be obsessed with him.
right.
That's the thing, because you got that because that's important.
Well, but
He hold on,
even,
wait, hold on, because
mm-hmm,
let me say, because he when he made that one wish love, he what he said was, "I wish Nikki loved me more than anyone in the world." She was obsessed with him,
right,
and see, obsession and love is a different thing. And
yeah,
so then that's why I feel like this movie is just so like it's just so cool. I like how it plays on the question at hand: is it love or is it obsession? And we clearly see the movie. It's obviously obsession,
right,
but he claims it to be love. The wish was for love.
right.
So
So do we think maybe? I mean, did the wish not accurately come true then,
no,
or is it that any time that you wish for something genuine like love in that way, it can't be. I mean, because I think the main difference between love and obsession is just that obsession is not healthy.
no,
If you do anything to the point where it's harmful to yourself or others, then it can't be something good and positive like love. You've now made it into something toxic and unhealthy. So,
right,
but if you're wishing for someone to love you essentially against their will, how could it be anything but obsession? It's no way for it to be love because there's nothing genuine and pure and heartfelt about it. So I mean, it's just completely false. And I think it's kind of interesting that um, the next kind of bullet point I have is sympathy for the villain. Um, did you in this case have any? Did you ever at any point feel bad for Bear?
um, yes. See, because
And if you were
this
feeling bad for him,
whole
is there a point where you stopped?
yes, yes, there is. I want
Mm-hmm.
to dive deep into that because I did feel a sort of um what's the word? I felt a sense of empathy for for him because he really I feel like he genuinely did love Nikki, and so he thought that this was the best idea to, I guess, make sure that she felt the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he went about it the wrong way with him not know, because see,
So, at what point then did you stop feeling sorry for
um a lot of times,
him?
because like it, I mean, and I understand she was crazy. I mean, if you watch the movie, she was crazy, so he couldn't have just like dropped
Walked
her off on
away,
the side of the
right?
road or anything.
Because at the point where he realizes, oh, okay, so this is the wish. I did do this, and there's no way for me to cancel the wish. I mean, it kind of really at that point is sort of a you're gonna have to kill her or kill yourself. I mean, that's I don't see
It's
any
option one
other
or option two.
options there could
So
be, and so I I do I don't know if sympathy is the right word, but I can acknowledge that that would have been a very difficult thing to maneuver at that point where you understood that. Um, and I mean, I think it was I mean, certainly before anything drastic like murder happened, he understood that that's what was going on. And so for me, I didn't have much sympathy for him really beyond the first few minutes, to be quite honest. I can see why some might consider him a sympathetic character, but honestly, I mean, I hate to say it, hot take maybe, but to me, he was just a prime example of the increasing number of sort of toxic nice guys who think just because they're a nice guy, they should be entitled for someone to want them to love them. Oh, well, I'm nice to her, so why wouldn't she like me back? And just sort of feeling like he should be given something just because. Like, okay, for example, he that first night when she comes over, when he did suspect even then that something was not right. He clearly knew she was not being herself. He did try to do the nice thing, I guess, of being like, oh, I think you're drunk or something, maybe you should just go in the house or all of that. So I mean, I think there was some nice guy in him. I don't think he's a person that would have thought to himself, oh, I would sleep with someone without their consent, for example. I don't think he thought that of himself. But the fact
mhm.
is that that's literally what it was. And if he had any confusion, if he had any unclarity about what was going on, maybe if he had even convinced himself, no, 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 no. Maybe she really does love me. Maybe at the point where he lost me for good was the point like we discussed where she said, please kill me, please help me. And he says, well, what's so wrong with being with me? Like, sir, it is so not about you.
It
Like,
right.
I
I
can't
feel like when
even.
he said that, it's like he's complete. I feel like he's completely like out of touch, out of reality.
Right, like
Because no, because the real, because he said, "What's so wrong with being with me?" The question is, what's not wrong about her being
trapped in her own body.
right?
I mean, that lady at one point was sitting here pissing, shitting, and vomiting all over herself all day because she stood at the damn door waiting for him.
That's what I'm saying. And
And
I
and
like
and mind you, oh, can I point out though, while he looked disgusted about it, he didn't seem to have a whole lot of alarm about that. Like
right.
his alarm was about, okay, well, how am I gonna go to this party? Am I gonna be able to get out without her? How do I talk to her about cooking my cat? Um, sorry, trigger warning.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me
But
talk. Let me talk about the cat for a bit. Hold on, because I don't. I don't feel like. Okay, I kind of like the whole aspect of his cat dying and her not. I'm not saying that she was a replacement for the cat, but I kind of liked how I don't. I don't know. I can't really explain it. It's kind of like in a way that whole trope where you go to where you have a dog. The dog waits at the door, just waits
Oh, like she
patiently
became his
for
pet, kind of.
yeah for the owner to come back, and then once they come back, it's like, oh my god, yay, my owner's back
Right.
and stuff. Like, I feel like, and I mean, I feel like cats do that too, in a way, not
Not as much as
not
dog,
as
but
much as
yeah.
dog, but they
Mhm.
still do that. So I liked how, I guess she, I guess in a way, became his pet, and he kind of did that.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I
so,
don't think that that was necessarily his intention or thought
no,
process,
it
but
wasn't. I feel like this whole thing wasn't his intention.
I mean, I that did stand out to me though, that when he came in and saw that his concern wasn't really about her at all. That would alarm me. Like, if I love this person so much, I'm trying to convince myself, no, maybe they really do love me. Maybe it's not the spell. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. And I come home and they're literally standing in the spot I left them. Mind you, also after taping the door shut, which that was weird too, and they never even commented on that. But okay. And I come back, you're covered in filth, literally piss, poop, everything on the ground, vomit all over you, and the fact that he's really I mean, he's disturbed, but he's disturbed more for himself. He's not actually concerned about her and what mental and physical process that had to be to stand there and do that all day. I
Right.
mean, he was just brazenly unsympathetic to me at that point, because you literally you're literally at this point, in my opinion, only concerned about yourself and how this affects you. And like, I would say by the end of the movie, like, honestly, I I would have been fine with the ending. Because we can talk about, I guess, what we thought about the ending. I would personally be fine if he just took them both out at that point, because took himself out and took her out,
Right.
and not because I would necessarily want that for her, but honestly, I feel like so many things had happened to that point that, I mean, okay, she's gonna come, like when she did, she woke up, came back to herself,
Oh
and
yeah.
screaming
Let me hold
hysterically
on.
because
Wait. Hold on.
now she
Because
done killed two people.
let me say something about that. I feel like like he is really a villain, because not only did he do all that with the One Wish Willow, turn Nikki into a crazy woman, had the real Nikki trapped inside of this crazy woman's body, or this crazy woman's mind, because it was still Nikki's body,
Hmm.
and go to the point where she killed two people. He got his friends killed. He's crazy. I mean, he wasn't crazy, but I mean, no, he was. No, hold on, stop the beat. He was crazy.
Bear.
By the end of the movie, Bear became crazy,
Oh yeah.
and he has the audacity to do all that. He has the opportunity to save Nikki, and no, what does he do? He doesn't save her, and then at the end, he decides to kill himself, and now Nikki just has to live with all that.
Wait, and then he tried to. Well, yeah, he tried to kill himself, but then if you paid attention, he was trying to stop dying or whatever. Like, because you saw before her spell worked on him, he was literally trying to make himself
Oh,
throw up.
you're right.
So he wasn't even committed to the idea of, okay, let me just take myself out so she could be okay
Right.
and,
No,
and
he was
survive.
not committed to
He
that.
wasn't even committed to that. The only reason it worked is because the only reason that he ended up dying is because she put the spell on him before he was able to complete making himself throw up. So it's like, um he just he just wasn't committed. And honestly, if at that point, I mean, I'm not saying he would have been not been the villain, he would have still been the villain and the terrible person, but I could maybe follow along with the understanding and theory of, at that point where now she has now killed two people, yeah, just kill her, because at this point she clearly is a danger to you, to your friends, to
Yeah.
whomever may come along,
I
to
feel like
herself potentially.
he was just oblivious to the fact that that was not Nikki. He knew,
I
and
don't believe
oh
that.
no. I that what really took the cake. What really took the cake is the fact that he knew that that wasn't the real Nikki. After that whole discussion talking about how it was the real Nikki, kill me now and all that. After that, he still continued to essentially just play a role and just go along with her craziness.
because I think at that point, particularly after the customer service call, I think he realized, okay, the only way that I can truly end this is to kill her or to kill me. And since he wasn't willing to do either of those things, he thought then, okay, well, all right, well, this is what I want. I want her to love me. It's fine. I'll just be in it. I'll just commit. I'll just commit to what's going on. And like, that's not gonna work because you're not dealing with a situation with a normal sane person. So you can't anticipate what she's gonna do. Like I'm sure when he went to meet Sarah, he didn't anticipate that Nikki was gonna follow along and murder the hell out of Sarah. But here we are. Um, and it's like, and that was kind of sad too because it's like Sarah was there this whole time. You wait, and it's like clearly at that point when they're in the car, he's like somewhat receptive at least to the idea of being with Sarah. And it's like, man, she was there the whole time. You knew this girl was interested in Sarah talking about the whole time. And instead of, maybe seeing how that could go or being open to that or doing anything besides obsessing about Nikki, like you could have did that then. You wait until now you put a spell on Nikki to then sit up in the car with her bestie. I mean,
Right.
what? Just make it make sense. It just didn't make sense. It makes sense in only crazy person logic. And yes, Bear, not to throw the crazy word around, but he was crazy. Okay, let's say this because I am a mental health advocate. Okay, I don't know that he was crazy in the beginning, but he's sorry about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulty. Okay, but anyways, back to the clip summary. Basically, what do you want to kind of also? What do you think was acting? I thought the
Oh
lady that
no,
played
let me
Nikki,
just say
this
that
could for her
acting.
Oscar.
No, I'm telling you, everyone in that
I don't know about
movie,
everyone. I wasn't that impressed with most of them, but
everyone deserves an Oscar.
an Oscar,
Okay, you're right.
come on.
Especially Nikki and Bear. They definitely, those two definitely deserve an Oscar. Excuse me, an Oscar.
I mean, I don't know
I feel
about
like both of their acting was
Bear.
just so cultivating, and I feel like it was just so immersive to see both of them interact with each other, especially with with like I can't really explain like their. I feel like their chemistry and their dynamic as two actors
Yeah, they did
coming
play off of
together.
each other
They played
in the
off
good
on each
and the
other.
bad moments.
Right.
I would say that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. I mean, I think that's about it.
I am tired.
I
We're gonna have
mean,
to.
I think this wraps up our thoughts about that. So just let us know kind of what you guys thought about the movie, what you thought about some of the themes of love versus obsession and control and all of those ideas, and give us some feedback about your thoughts. Anything else?
No.
All right. Well,
Just if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie.
go see it.
If you've already seen it, put your thoughts in the comments. What you think of the movie?
And we'll be back soon enough to share our thoughts.